Peace and Yah bless. Yah's the strong one. The strong one is Yah. He's the tree of life. He's the fountain of living waters. He's the spirit and creator of all things that live and breathe. On this particular discourse, I'm going to talk about more of the events around the world, and there's still lots of events going on around the world other than the coronavirus, okay? Other than hearing about that, naturally over in the China South Sea, as they call it, or South China Sea, however you want to put it, there's still a lot of tension in that region about those disputed territory of waters, okay, and islands, and which nation, owns, the natural resources in those islands, okay? I've heard about the U.S. and they've sent different convoys over there, different ships and things like that, to kind of provoke the Chinese, which for me is a bad idea, but, these people are going to do whatever they want to do. And naturally, the prophecies of Yah will come about in real time. Because the key to a prophecy is it is the future seen or vision seen, okay, by a prophet. Okay, the prophets of old, Isaiah, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, okay, and even the minor prophets. All right? So the thing has to have already occurred, but it must play itself out in real time, okay? And that's what we experience, what we call time, okay? So this day of the Lord, they call it, or the day of Yah, it is his day. And he calls it that specifically himself because it is the day of his vengeance against the wicked of the earth. That's the only reason why wickedness, is so profound in the earth. And that's why it flourishes. Because Yah already has a set apart date and time to avenge himself on wicked and evil doers. Okay? Rebels and transgressors. He already has a day already set for that. A set time. Okay? In the future. And he gives us what's called this Old Testament, these prophets, for us to be able to see that future ahead of time. And then what we do, like what happened with Noah, right? What happened even, in the days of Abraham with those wicked cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, right? He tells us what's going to take place. And then we tell the people so that the people can have an opportunity to either change, right, from the wickedness and take hold on righteousness, or generally people certainly do perish, okay? Societies perish, countries perish. Sad thing, but that's the way Yah runs this particular system, okay? Because the people, for whatever reason, can never turn from wickedness and take hold on to righteousness, okay? So the day of the Lord is right here called in the book of Isaiah, okay? Isaiah chapter 13, the burden of Babylon. And you guys have seen this before. So I'm just giving you a basic update, some of the things going on, okay? Naturally, over in the South China Sea, you guys see, what's going on over there, okay? A lot going on.
The ship and surface-to-air missile systems. Hitch have been placed in the contested Spratly Islands. Washington demanded that the weapons be removed from the islands during talks last November. But these requests were greeted with stubborn denial by Beijing. Talks to deploy HIMARS rocket systems have stalled for months, however, as Manila has expressed concerns about the affordability of the weapons given its limited defense budget. HIMARS is a light multiple rocket launcher that can fire 6 rounds of rockets. Or one surface-to-surface tactical missile with a maximum range of 300 kilometers. The Pentagon's Director of the Joint Staff, Lieutenant General Kenneth McKenzie, has previously warned that the U.S. has the ability to take down China's military presence on the islands. Security expert on Asia from CNAS Brian Harding believes that while the arms deal may be faltering for now.
So you guys kind of get the point, right? Okay, so in the future, whenever these battles take place, okay, what's called the Day of the Lord, okay, or the Great Judgment of the Daughter of Babylon that you also read in Jeremiah chapters 50 and 51. Same as you read right here in Isaiah chapter number 13. All right, the burden of Babylon, right? It's going to be probably one of the absolute mightiest wars that will probably ever take place on this earth. Okay, it's going to be a mighty war because it's going to be something like people have never seen before. Because all these sophisticated weapons that these people have, they're going to put to use on the day of Yah or the day of the Lord. Okay, so let's read a little bit of this. Okay, starting at verse number 4. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. Yah of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. So it's coming from Yah. You know, Yah is the one who's got these nations gathered together. He's put it in their heart to gather, you know, that they will gather together in the future, okay? Now listen very closely to verse 5. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, you know, from the other sides of the earth, right? Even Yah, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land, okay? So the Most High is not kidding around about that. They are the weapons of his anger. That's what indignation means. To destroy the whole land. Okay? Well, what whole land? The daughter of Babylon. Okay? As we've told you guys many times, you know, now we didn't predict these things, okay? We have never predicted these things. Are always been in Isaiah and Jeremiah, you know, long before we were born. You know, these things were predicted. Okay? It's just people thought that maybe during their particular time and day, these things would take place. But as we can see, it's 2020, and we haven't quite got there yet. But we know that somewhere in the late great future, this is certainly going to take place. The day of Yah. It's going to take place. Okay? Hail ye, for the day of Yah is at hand, and it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. So you know where it's coming from. It's coming directly from God himself. Okay? He's going to use these nations, but it's coming from Yah. Okay? Therefore shall all hands be faint. Okay? Every man's heart shall melt. So, you know, they're going to be falling out, you know, because they're not going to be able to believe what they're seeing, especially here in America, because America has never really ever seen any kind of battle on, you know, their shores or on their land. They've never, ever seen that happen. Okay? But during this final battle, or not the last battle on earth, but the second to last battle, I would say World War III, you're going to see this all take place, all right, around the daughter of Babylon. That's why you have, you know, like the Trump administration, you see they're deploying all these weapons over. They're using that South China Sea as an excuse to deploy their weapons over in the Philippines, you know what I mean, which is an ally, you know, of the United States. And probably a few other places, you know, maybe, you know, South Korea, places like that. All right, to try to take down, you know, the mighty Chinese, okay? But the key is it's not just going to be the Chinese in this battle. It's not just going to be the Iranians in this battle. Okay, it's going to be many nations, okay? But the top three nations we know will probably be Iran, Russia, and China. But even those three nations by themselves is plenty enough to take down America. Plenty enough, because they have more nuclear weapons, right? I'm talking about together, right? Russia has the most nuclear weapons, number one. They have 6,800 and something, as opposed to the US, who has like 6,600 and something. But when you put together Russia, Iran, and China, that's a lot of weaponry and troops and men. Even though in this war there probably won't be as much need for troops, okay, because it's going to be a outright missile battle. That's what we're showing you, those surface to air missile, batteries that they have now, okay, you're going to see that. But the Russians have a lot of secret weapons too, even hypersonic gliders. And the gliders, it just glides through the atmosphere and it goes all the way up and reaches its highest point. And then it can just glide down and then it can release its payload, okay? Or what they call RVs, okay? Re-entry vehicles. Once it releases the re-entry vehicles, they can hit cities in the United States or anywhere in the world, basically. So Russia is definitely the most dangerous, I would say, of all those three. But the day of the Lord, okay, is not a game. It's not a joke. It's not a thing that can necessarily be stopped, okay, because it's already written here in the book that this battle is going to take place. So many would ask, okay, well, Zechariah, why does that have to take place? Right? Verse number 8. And they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrows shall take hold, right, of them. And they shall be, right, in pain as a woman that travaileth, right? Okay? They shall be amazed at one another. Their faces shall be as flames, okay? Behold, the day of Yah cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate. Okay? He shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. That's the problem. That's the reason why. Because America is a land that doesn't have any kind of boundaries as far as what is to be allowed and what shouldn't be allowed. Everything goes on here, everything and anything. That's why it's called Babylon. Okay? Or the daughter of Babylon. Because the old Babylon, right, similar to the new Babylon, okay, they used to do similar, basically the same things. And now the other nations of the world, they've taken on, these same customs, right, okay? And that's what a lot of these nations are going to be mad about, because they see Yah punishing, those other nations, right? Okay? So they're going to be upset about that. You can read that right here in this same book of Isaiah. How the nations are going to be upset about that, because they kind of took on the same ways, as the daughter of Babylon. And now Yah is upset with them for taking on those same ways, okay? So let's read verse 11. And I will punish the world for their evil. See what the Most High is doing? I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause what? He's going to cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. And I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Okay? Now verse 13, the very most important verse. Therefore will I shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place. Okay? And in the wrath of Yahweh of hosts, in the day of his fierce anger. So he's going to shake the earth with what? With that war, okay? With this war machine right here. Okay? He's going to shake the whole entire earth, because there's going to be missiles going back and forth everywhere. The Russians are going to shoot their payload. the United States is going to shoot some of their payloads. I mean, not all of it. They're going to get some missiles off the ground. Don't get it twisted, Okay. The Chinese are going to shoot their payload, but the Iranians are going to be the main, perpetrators of this thing starting. Okay, as we told you, what their cryptic name is in the book. Okay, the Medes, Medes. Just Google it. Okay, but it's going to shake the earth terribly. It says that day, in the day of Yah, the day of the Lord. It calls it, right? Okay, because what? Because people are so arrogant. Okay, they're so proud. They come before God and they present themselves any way they want to. It doesn't matter their color. Black, white, yellow, green, whatever the case, it doesn't matter. Okay? Too much arrogancy and too much of being proud and not enough of people being humble before God and being thankful before God and thanking Him for the breath of life each day that you get up and thanking Him for designing us and making us look so great as human beings on this earth. Now, that's not everybody, but it's a lot of people, but especially in the United States, a lot of arrogancy, All right? Especially with the behavior of certain kinds of people. They're arrogant and proud. So the Most High said He gonna deal with it. He gonna lay that low. Okay? He gonna lay it low. He gonna deal with that. Okay? All right. Then He said He will make men what? More precious than fine gold. That goes over, to Isaiah chapter 4, where it says 7 women will do what? Present themselves to one man, saying what? Just be our husband, because there ain't very many men left on earth. Okay? That's why that verse is in there. Okay, I keep showing you guys that a lot of women are probably turning up their nose going, I'm not doing that. Oh, when the time comes, if you survive, you'll do it. Trust and believe it. Okay? Because men are going to be made what? Very scarce because of that war. Okay? Tells you right there in verse number 12. All right? Now, if you notice here in verse number 14, that people are going to begin to flee everyone to his own land. Okay? See that? They should every man turn to his own people and flee everyone to his own land. So people are gonna, now I don't know if this is before this war occurs or after. I wouldn't say after, because you're talking about desolation in the door of Babylon. So I would say probably before that, people are gonna start returning, to their own countries. Okay? Most people. Okay, and those who do not, the Most High tells what happens. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through. Okay, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Because you're going to have people that's going to be like, oh no, I'm going to stay behind with them. And we're going to ride it out. We got a bomb shelter somewhere or an underground bunker. Ain't none of that's going to help you when this war comes. Okay, all right. These people who, try to stay behind. And the people who try to stay behind, what happens is their children shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. And their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished during that particular time. Okay? Very, very serious business. Okay? When you talking about the day of Yah, the day of the Lord, it's not a joke, man. Now you notice they don't say nothing in here about Jesus coming to save nobody, okay? Or there being some way to get out of it. Okay, the only thing you see is that people start going back to their own countries, fleeing away from the United States. That's the only thing you see here. It doesn't say nothing about no UFOs coming or something like that, or somebody coming out the sky on horses and all that. No, man, all that stuff's folklore, man. The day of Yah is a real thing, man. It's going to occur. And it's already set to occur, as you guys can see. That's why I bring this news to you, even though I don't really like delivering it to you. It's my job to deliver it to you. Verse 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes, see, Iran, against the United States, right? Which shall not regard silver, and as far as gold, they shall not delight in it. So you're not going to be able to negotiate with the Iranians. Okay? They're not delighted. They don't care about silver and gold and money. Like, we don't really care about all that. Okay? All right. Their bows, right? Nuclear missiles, right? Okay. ICBMs, whatever it is, okay? Also shall dash the young men to pieces. And they shall, check this out, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb, and their eye shall not spare children. Okay? And Babylon, the glory of the kingdoms, because the United States is the glory of all the kingdoms of the world. Everybody wants to come here, right? The beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, and it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in. Okay? From generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch a tent there, because most of those Arabians are over here, right? They own the 7-Elevens and the corner stores and all. That's what it's talking about. They ain't going to pitch their tent there anymore. Neither shall the shepherds make folds there. Okay? But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures. So all these big old mansions and these nice houses and all that stuff emptied out. Okay? Because many people are going to die in that war. And I do mean a lot. So much that the wild beasts are going to come back and take over these great big old houses and all that people have bought. You know what I mean? So for me, bad investment, but that's up to a person, whatever a person wants to do. Because you got to read this first before you get into making investments, okay? And property in the door of Babylon. I would probably take my money and, I sell my house, take my money and buy me a house somewhere else. It'd be the smartest thing to do. But anyway, outside the door of Babylon. But I'm not going to get into that. But as you see, the wild beast is going to lie in these people's houses. Okay? And their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and the owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. Okay? And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces. Okay? And her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. So Babylon, America's not going to prolong her days. In other words, there ain't no way to stop it. Okay, that's what we keep trying to tell y'all. Ain't no joining back together and everybody be cool and all that. No, the Most High said this judgment, the day of Yah, is going to take place. And it must take place, and it will and shall take place, because it's already written that it's already actually taken place. It's just we have to play it out in real time. Remember, the prophet Isaiah has already seen it in his vision that it's taken place. So he's already seen the future, okay? Remember that. Isaiah's already seen the future. So it's already taken place. We're just playing it out in real time, okay? Because you can only see a vision only if it takes place in the future, okay? But yes, that's how that's going to go down. Okay? Now, when it's going to happen, we do not know. Okay? But we do know when we exit here in Isaiah 14, that we exit here, we know one thing we're going to say. You know what I mean? After we come out of this captivity, what does it say right here? That we're going to take up a proverb against the king of Babylon. Okay? The king, notice that, the king of Babylon, the president, right? And say, whoever it is at that time, right? And say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. And I don't mean what you guys seen during this lockdown. Right? We ain't talking about that. Okay? We're talking about WW3. We're not talking about this lockdown, okay? But you guys seen how a lot of the wild beasts started coming back. And they had lions and stuff. They were laying around in different places, and they had all kind of animals, roaming the streets and stuff like that. You know what I mean? They did. And roaming the streets because they're wondering where's all the people at? That they didn't have no fear. Like, we're going to go back and just roam the streets. These wild beasts. So what you've seen happen during this lockdown, that's going to be, forever for these beasts during that time. Okay? All right, all the doleful creatures and the owls, they're going to dwell, and the satyrs shall dance there. Okay, all right. know what to say. Even the wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolate houses, right? Because the houses are all going to be emptied out because people are going to, receive this judgment. And dragons in their pleasant palaces, okay? All right? Because, all these big old mansions and houses people got are going to be empty because of this battle that takes place. I mean, it's a heck of a battle, and it's going to be a heck of a day when the day of Yah takes place. The day of the Lord. It's not a game. It's not a joke. But yeah, these Medes, they're not playing a game. They're not joking. I just want to bring you guys up to speed, what's happening while you're dealing with, while they got you, your eyes looking at this coronavirus. There's still other things going on in the world other than that, okay? For however real that may be or may not be. That's not for me to judge, okay? But what we do know is Yah is going to punish the people. He's going to punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. And they're going to cause all that arrogant attitude and all your pride is going to cease that day. Okay? And men are going to be more precious than fine gold. So I told you women, hey, you better grab you a man that can help you. You know what I mean? I would say get to the other side of the earth. Because if you don't, you're going to wish you did. Okay? If you should survive to see this happen. That's why all that, what you've seen over there in 13, comes right back here to chapter 4, right? And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel, only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Why? Because of what has happened. Okay? Now these global elite, they're going to play a game on everybody. What they're going to do. Okay? See, they know that what they've been teaching in those religions is not true, right? Okay? Let's read a little bit of Isaiah chapter 2, and then I'll let you guys go, okay? I think we've heard enough, right? Okay? Now listen very closely to this last part of this. Okay? Chapter 2 of Isaiah, go there in your Bible, okay? And follow along with me. And the loftiness of man shall be bowed down, right? And the haughtiness of men shall be made low. And Yah alone shall be exalted in that day, because all them idols are going to be abolished, okay? Because nobody showed up to save everybody from World War III, from occurring, okay? So all that's going to be a done deal, not going to be believed anymore, okay? And the idols he shall utterly abolish, okay? Just like he did with Egypt. He had to knock out Pharaoh and Pharaoh's firstborn. Okay? And then Pharaoh was no more looked at like he was God. You see what I'm saying? But the Most High is going to do what? And the idols he shall utterly abolish. Simple as that. Then it talks about how these elite, they're going to go into those underground bunkers, okay? Not in America, in other countries, all right? And they shall go into the holes of the rocks, right? Underground bunkers, right? And into the caves of the earth for the fear of Yah and for the glory of his majesty, right? When he arises to shake terribly the earth with this World War III, okay? And in that day, a man shall cast his idols, okay? Buddha, Krishna, Shiva, whatever it's called, Jesus, Muhammad, anything else that people came up with. In that day, man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which they made each one himself to worship. You see there? The key is which they made. Men had made these things up for people to believe. Okay, naturally, if you're a child and you don't know this, you're going to believe it too, right? No matter what religious sect it is on earth, right? Listen very carefully, all right? Which they made each one for himself to worship. They're going to throw them to the moles and to the bats. And they're going to throw that stuff away. Crosses, all that. They're going to snatch it off their neck and throw it on the ground. Step on it. Spit on it. Okay, because it's all just what? Idols. 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 It's not the true God. It's not YHWH. It's not the true God. And what you better be doing is thanking God that I'm here to deliver this message to you so you can go get some clarity and understanding. Now, this is also what the elite going to do. They're going to throw all that stuff away too. that they made for themselves, including themselves, to be worshipped, right? Okay, to do what? To go into the clefts of the rocks and into the tops of the ragged rocks for their fear of Yah and for the glory of his majesty when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth. Okay? Then the Most High asks a question to everybody. Cease ye from man. Okay? So cease ye from man, whose breath is in his nostrils. For wherein is he to be accounted of? In other words, stop believing their baloney. Okay? Somebody's died for your sin, or somebody coming back to save you and all that. He said, stop believing that. They're just breath, man. Do not fear these people, okay? Muhammad took off on a horse and all that. No, man. Okay? It's just all idols. Okay? Including that box they got in Mecca. All idols that each one made. See, they made these things up. The power elite, a lot of them are not the ones living today, but their forefathers made those things. And theirs before those, you know what I mean? Okay? And even some of the stuff our forefathers made up, because they used to worship idols too of all kinds underneath every tree that you read here in the books of Deuteronomy, Exodus, book of Joshua. You know what I mean? But each one made these theologies for himself to worship, including themselves, right? But they're going to throw all that stuff, it says, to the moles and to the back. They're going to throw that stuff away. And then they're going to go into these underground bunkers to try to save themselves. Talking about the global elite. Okay? All your big time richies. They're going to leave y'all out here to fend for y'all selves. Say, oh, too bad for them. We got our underground bunkers over in, the Netherlands or wherever it might be. It's not going to be in the door of Babylon. Okay? So very, very truthful things I'm telling you that you can go read for yourself. I'm just giving you guys some new updates, okay? Keep you guys up to speed on what's going to happen and what shall happen in the late great future. And I don't mean too far into the future, okay? But over that South China Sea, that's really getting heated up again.
President Rodrigo Duterte's departure from office could see the talks accelerate. Just as Duterte has dramatically reoriented Philippine foreign policy, there could again be an abrupt change with a new president. A new president could also seek to accelerate the implementation of the U.S.-Philippines Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, which could potentially provide an avenue for the United States to deploy systems such as HIMARS in the Philippines. Earlier this year, U.S. Secretary of State emphasized the enduring alliance Manila and Washington shares, also promising to help the Philippines modernize its defense.